Como yo digo, todo lo que estoy viviendo ahora es de chapa, ¿no? Tuve la suerte de conseguir todos los sueños a nivel, o más de lo que podía haber llegado a nivel individual, a nivel grupal. Hoy estoy disfrutando de esto, de un grupo hermoso, de sentirme bien, por suerte, para poder disfrutarlo dentro de la cancha como siempre me gustó a mí. Y nada, la verdad que todo lo que viví es mucho más de lo que hubiese podido imaginar cuando era chico.
Lionel Messi finally showed what he really thought about everything, and he did it in one quick moment that almost the entire world missed. It lasted only a few seconds before it was gone. But the people who noticed it understood right away. In that tiny moment, Messi seemed to say more about this whole heated controversy than 23 million frustrated fans, and even the FIFA president ever could. Just look at the pressure all around him. There was a heated clash after the final whistle. More than 23 million people added their names to a petition demanding Argentina be removed from the World Cup forever. His teammates filled social media with bold and emotional messages. The FIFA president answered back, and the debate exploded even more. Yet while everyone else was arguing as loudly as possible, Messi stayed calm and made one quiet move that seemed to cut through all the chaos. That single gesture spoke louder than any speech or headline, and it gave people a completely different way to look at what was really happening. That one moment, and the reason it carried more weight than 23 million signatures, is where this story finally leads. But before we get there, you need to understand the storm Messi was standing in. Keep that in mind, because we'll come back to him very soon. First, there's one important point that needs to be clear because it shapes everything that follows. The truth is, almost nobody seriously believed FIFA was going to ban Argentina from the tournament. That idea was never realistic, and it wouldn't have been fair either. A whole national team isn't removed from the World Cup because of one heated confrontation. And while 23 million signatures showed just how emotional people were, a petition is public opinion, not an official decision. In reality, the petition was never truly about getting Argentina banned. The petition was never really about forcing FIFA to remove Argentina from the World Cup. It was about making as much noise as possible and sending one clear message. Millions of people believed Argentina had been treated differently. Whether that belief was right or wrong, the reaction spread across the football world at incredible speed. To understand why so many people felt that way, you have to go back to the final moments of the match. The final whistle echoed around MetLife Stadium. Spain were officially world champions, but instead of the night ending with celebration alone, emotions boiled over. As Spain's players rushed onto the pitch to celebrate their victory, Argentina's frustration became impossible to hide. During the chaotic scenes, defender Nahuel Molina appeared to strike Spain captain Rodri in the stomach as he ran past. That moment seemed to spark everything that followed. Nicolas Otamendi confronted Rodri with a heated exchange, and then Leandro Paredes appeared to grab Spain's Eric Garcia around the neck area before pushing him, while he and Thiago Almada became involved in an incident that brought Gavi to the ground. The tension was growing by the second, and then things became even more serious. Members of both coaching staffs rushed into the confrontation, and one moment drew particular attention. Argentina assistant coach Roberto Ayala appeared on camera, placing his hands around the neck area of Spain's Dani Olmo during the commotion. Seeing a coach involved in an incident like that during a World Cup final.
Como goleador de los mundiales junto a Klose, ¿mirás ese número?
No, la verdad que no. La verdad que es un honor, obviamente, estar ahí por lo que significa. Estar al lado de Klose, lo que está Ronaldo también ahí, pero creo que no significa nada, ¿no? Mbappé también, que hizo hoy 2. Al final es estadística y...
Only added to the controversy. To his credit, Lionel Scaloni quickly ran in and tried to pull his own players and staff away from the confrontation. But by then, the images had already spread everywhere. The situation didn't end there either. During the trophy ceremony, several Argentina players turned their backs as Spain lifted the World Cup. That unforgettable image became one of the biggest talking points of the night, and it helped drive the petition past 23 million signatures. The petition didn't hold back. Its main claim was simple and direct. Many supporters believed Argentina had been given special treatment throughout the tournament. They questioned why other teams should compete if they felt the biggest decisions were already leaning one way. Whether that view was justified or not, it quickly spread across the football world and sparked huge debate. The size of the campaign is what really caught everyone's attention. This wasn't just a small group posting online. The organizers originally hoped to collect 5 million signatures, but the petition raced far beyond that goal, eventually passing 23 million names. That level of support showed just how many people were frustrated by what they believed they had seen. After Spain lifted the trophy, the campaign ended with one sharp message: FIFA ignored us, but Spain delivered. Those few words summed up the feelings of many supporters. They believed FIFA would never take action against Argentina, so instead they praised the team that defeated them on the pitch. At the same time, many Argentina supporters pushed back with a petition of their own, arguing that refereeing decisions had gone against them and calling for the final to be replayed. Both sides were convinced they had been treated unfairly. That is what happens when trust in officiating starts to disappear. Supporters from completely different sides walked away, believing the system had worked against them. Whether those beliefs matched reality or not, the arguments only became louder as the tournament went on. To understand why so many people kept raising questions, it's worth looking back at some of the biggest refereeing decisions from earlier in the competition. One of the most talked about moments came in the round of 16. Egypt had a goal ruled out after a VAR review because of a small foul earlier in the attacking move. Later in the match, Argentina survived a late penalty appeal that the officials decided not to award. Just moments after that decision, Argentina scored the winning goal. Those contrasting calls became another major talking point, with many Egypt supporters feeling the officiating had been inconsistent. Questions about Argentina's treatment didn't stop there. During the semifinal against England, Argentina committed 12 first-half fouls, but received only one yellow card. Some supporters pointed to repeated challenges on Jude Bellingham and argued the referee had been too lenient. Those decisions quickly became another major talking point, with critics claiming similar incidents involving other teams might have been judged differently. Then came another moment that sparked even more debate. During the World Cup final, many viewers believed Leandro Paredes could have faced a red card after his involvement in the confrontation. Reports also circulated online that a red card entry briefly appeared on FIFA's official match systems before later disappearing, although the reasons behind that were never clearly explained publicly. That only added more fuel to the discussion and left fans asking even more questions. Looking back, many supporters felt that in several of the tournament's biggest moments, important decisions seemed to fall in Argentina's favor. That alone does not prove any conspiracy, and there is no verified evidence that matches were deliberately manipulated. However, for millions of fans watching around the world, the repeated controversies created a lasting perception that Argentina often received the benefit of the doubt. That belief didn't disappear when the football ended. It only grew louder. Then another report grabbed headlines. In the days following the final, Argentine media reported on a letter said to be from FIFA President Gianni Infantino congratulating Argentina for their professionalism during the tournament. Coming so soon after the post-match confrontation, the incidents involving players and staff, and the controversy surrounding the trophy ceremony, many critics questioned the timing and the message. Whether people agreed with that reaction or not, it became another major reason why the debate refused to die down. For many critics, moments like these seemed to fit together into a larger pattern. They pointed to disputed refereeing decisions, disciplinary controversies, and reports of the president's letter as reasons for their concerns. Those claims remain heavily debated, but they also set the stage for the next chapter: how FIFA responded to the growing criticism and why that response became almost as controversial as the incidents themselves. With the tournament surrounded by controversy, many people expected FIFA to address the biggest concerns directly. There had been the post-match brawl, the Balogun controversy, visa issues affecting some teams and officials, and even criticism over the 27-minute halftime show. Instead of holding a major press conference, FIFA President Gianni Infantino responded with a lengthy Instagram post that immediately grabbed attention. Across a series of slides, Infantino defended the tournament and pushed back against his critics. He argued that many of the complaints were driven by negativity, praised the World Cup as a safe and successful event, and even suggested that people questioning FIFA should take a moment to meditate, pray, or watch a football match. That line quickly spread online and became one of the most talked about parts of his response. When it came to the officiating, one of the biggest issues raised by critics, Infantino also dismissed many of the complaints. He argued that debatable refereeing decisions and controversial disciplinary calls happen in top football competitions around the world. He also questioned why some of the strongest criticism appeared to come from countries where similar debates over refereeing regularly take place. His comments only added more attention to an already heated discussion. For many critics, that response felt less like an acknowledgement of people's concerns and more like FIFA standing firmly by its position. As more stories surfaced, the tournament's claim of being nearly flawless faced even greater scrutiny. Several incidents outside the matches continued making headlines, keeping the controversy alive long after the final whistle. Among those stories were reports from Iran's head coach, who said his team faced major difficulties during the tournament, including visa delays and changes to their training arrangements in the United States. There were also reports that a Somali referee traveling with a diplomatic passport was denied entry, while supporters from several countries experienced immigration problems or travel restrictions. In response, FIFA highlighted the millions of fans and participants who successfully attended the tournament, while critics argued that the smaller number of serious cases still deserved greater attention. When the head of world football responds to a long list of concerns by telling people to meditate, pray, or watch a football match, it's easy to understand why many critics remained unconvinced. For those already questioning FIFA's decisions, comments like that did little to restore confidence and instead added even more debate to an already tense situation. The Balogun controversy became one of the biggest examples people pointed to. Critics argued it weakened FIFA's message that everything was being handled fairly. Reports claimed Balogun avoided a suspension after discussions involving senior officials, a decision that drew strong reactions across the football world. UEFA reportedly criticized the outcome, while Norway was said to be considering a formal complaint. FIFA, however, maintained that the process was handled according to its rules. Those completely different views only made the controversy grow even larger. Because of moments like that, many supporters began asking another question. If FIFA faced another major controversy involving a high-profile team, would it respond any differently? Whether that concern was justified or not, the level of public skepticism was impossible to ignore. For many fans, trust had already been damaged by earlier decisions, making every new incident even more heavily scrutinized. Many critics also looked back at the 2022 World Cup in Qatar as another example. After Argentina's celebrations led to disciplinary proceedings, including criticism over some post-match behavior and gestures, FIFA ultimately issued a fine of around $25,000 without taking disciplinary action against individual players. For supporters who already believed Argentina had often received lenient treatment, that decision became another part of the wider debate. Others argued the punishment matched FIFA's disciplinary guidelines, but the disagreement only kept the controversy alive and ensured every future decision involving Argentina would be examined even more closely. For many critics, this didn't seem like one isolated incident. It looked like part of a repeated pattern. They pointed to several past controversies involving members of Argentina's squad and argued that similar headlines kept appearing over the years. Whether each case was connected or not, the growing list gave people plenty to debate. Enzo Fernandez, who was sent off in this final, had already faced criticism in 2024 after posting a video featuring a squad chant that the French Football Federation condemned as racist and discriminatory. He later issued a public apology. That same year, goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez received a 2-match suspension for offensive behavior during international qualifiers. Those incidents were frequently brought up by critics whenever discussions about Argentina's conduct resurfaced. Then people started putting every controversy side by side. They pointed to the trophy celebration that drew criticism, the chant involving Enzo Fernandez, the Las Malvinas banners displayed in both 2014 and again during this tournament, and now the post-match confrontation involving players and coaching staff. To many observers, it no longer looked like a string of unrelated moments. Instead, they believed it suggested a recurring problem that had often resulted in relatively limited consequences. At the same time, this latest situation could prove more serious for the individuals involved. FIFA reportedly opened 2 separate disciplinary investigations with video footage from multiple angles available for review. One investigation focused on the post-match confrontation, with reports naming Nahuel Molina, Leandro Paredes, Thiago Almeida, and assistant coach Roberto Ayala among those under examination. A separate investigation also looked into the Las Malvinas Son Argentinas banner displayed after the semifinal, which involved Giovanni Lo Celso, Lisandro Martinez, and other members of the squad. FIFA's regulations generally prohibit political messages during its competitions, making the banner another major point of attention. Argentina had previously been fined around $30,000 after displaying the same message during the 2014 World Cup, making its reappearance especially controversial. As a result, Argentina found themselves facing 2 separate FIFA investigations from the same tournament. Individual suspensions remained a real possibility, but whether the team itself would face any wider punishment was a very different question. As things stand, Argentina's place in future competitions was never seriously in danger. The team remained qualified, and attention quickly shifted away from the possibility of a team-wide punishment and toward the individuals under investigation. That outcome only strengthened the belief among many critics that Argentina would once again avoid the harshest consequences, whether that perception was fair or not. The reactions from several members of the squad also became a major talking point. Leandro Paredes shared a passionate message with supporters, speaking about pride, love for his country, giving everything for the shirt, and calling it an honor to be part of what he described as the greatest Argentina team in history. However, critics pointed out that he did not directly address his role in the post-match confrontation, which led to even more debate online. Enzo Fernandez also posted about the pain of defeat, the honor of representing Argentina, and the disappointment of losing the final. Like Paredes, he focused on the team's effort rather than the red card he received during the match. Meanwhile, assistant coach Roberto Ayala responded to questions about his confrontation with Dani Olmo by suggesting the incident had been more of a shove and saying it came after something Olmo had supposedly said. His explanation quickly became another source of controversy. Olmo strongly rejected that version of events. Speaking to a Catalan newspaper, he argued that blaming an alleged comment to justify physical contact simply wasn't true, and stated that he had not said anything to provoke the incident. He also spoke about the importance of setting a positive example for young people and the values that players and coaches should leave behind. Those remarks earned praise from many supporters and added another layer to the ongoing debate. At the same time, it's important to keep the bigger picture in mind. Argentina are not simply the villains of this story, and reducing everything to that would ignore the full context. This is a talented squad that reached its third World Cup final in 12 years through outstanding performances, defeated a strong England side on merit in the semifinal, and played with a level of passion and commitment that their supporters deeply admire. That is exactly why the controversy became so intense, because it involved one of football's greatest teams at one of the sport's biggest moments. One moment that sparked huge debate came during the trophy ceremony when several Argentina players appeared to turn their backs as Spain celebrated. Later, Lisandro Martinez insisted it was never meant as a deliberate sign of disrespect and said people had misunderstood what happened. He may well be right. After losing a World Cup final, emotions are at their highest, and those painful moments are something very few people can truly understand. Sometimes frustration shows itself in ways that look worse than they were intended. From the beginning, the idea of banning an entire national team from the World Cup was never a realistic outcome. Holding every player, coach, and supporter responsible for the actions of a few individuals would have been extremely difficult to justify. FIFA choosing not to remove Argentina from future competitions is not by itself evidence of wrongdoing. The more important questions have always been about individual responsibility rather than punishing a whole nation. The real issue many people wanted answered was much simpler. Would the players and staff involved in the post-match confrontation face meaningful disciplinary action, or would the consequences once again be limited? That was the debate at the center of the controversy, while many of the louder arguments around it often distracted from that key question. In the end, what stayed with millions of supporters wasn't simply the petition itself, it was what they believed it represented. Many weren't expecting Argentina to disappear from the World Cup. Instead, they wanted to see FIFA apply its rules consistently and transparently, just as they believed it should with every national team. When Argentina remained automatically qualified, reports emerged about a congratulatory letter from FIFA's president, and Gianni Infantino defended the organization's handling of the tournament. Many critics felt their concerns had not been fully addressed. That perception, whether fair or not, is what kept the controversy alive long after the final whistle. In the end, the Argentina Out campaign highlighted something much bigger than calls for a team ban. For many critics, the real issue wasn't whether Argentina would actually be removed from the World Cup. It was the belief that FIFA would never seriously consider such a step in the first place. Throughout the controversy, the post-match confrontation, the petition, the public statements, and the reports about the president's letter dominated the headlines, yet one person stood apart from all of it, and that silence became one of the most powerful moments of the entire story. While several teammates defended themselves publicly, and emotions continued to spill over, Lionel Messi reacted in a completely different way. As Spain celebrated becoming world champions, Messi didn't get involved in the confrontation. Instead, he quietly walked across the pitch and shook hands with every Spanish player. Speaking on the BBC, Joe Hart summed up what many viewers noticed, saying, "There was one man on that pitch who had class, and it was Messi." That simple moment spoke louder than any social media post. Another touching scene followed soon after. Spain's teenage star Lamine Yamal, born years after Messi had already begun his legendary career, walked over to comfort him. Messi then sat alone on the MetLife Stadium pitch, legs stretched out in front of him, watching the celebrations, as the disappointment finally caught up with him. Reports also noted that he had worn custom boots for the final with the words "The Last Tango" written on the soles, making the emotional scene even more memorable. When everything was over, Messi chose not to join the online arguments. While others shared emotional messages defending the team or responding to the criticism, he didn't post about the confrontation or try to explain away the controversy. Instead, he returned home to Rosario and stayed silent. Many people saw that silence as a message in itself. By choosing respect on the pitch, accepting defeat with dignity, and refusing to add to the noise, Messi created a clear contrast that many fans around the world noticed, and it became one of the defining images people remembered long after the tournament had ended. Messi never came out and said, "I'm not part of this." He didn't need to. The way he carried himself on and off the pitch spoke louder than any statement ever could. While millions argued online and FIFA defended its position, Messi let his actions do the talking. For many fans, that quiet approach stood in sharp contrast to everything else unfolding around him and became one of the most memorable parts of the tournament. After the final, Leandro Paredes added even more speculation when he said, "I think he has made his decision," suggesting that the match may have been Messi's last appearance for Argentina. Messi himself, however, has never confirmed that. Throughout his career, he has rarely rushed to announce major decisions, often allowing time to speak before making anything official. Still, at 39 years old, with "The Last Tango" written on his boots, many supporters couldn't help wondering whether those emotional scenes carried a deeper meaning. There is also something remarkable about where it all happened. MetLife Stadium was the same venue where years earlier Messi suffered another heartbreaking defeat in a major final. After losing the 2016 Copa America, he briefly announced his retirement from international football before eventually returning and later helping Argentina achieve World Cup glory in Qatar. That history made his emotional reaction after this final feel even more significant for many supporters. One thing should never be forgotten, though. Messi wasn't simply along for the ride during this tournament. He remained one of Argentina's most influential players from start to finish. He scored 8 goals, narrowly missed out on the Golden Boot, and delivered one of the tournament's defining performances in the semifinal against England. With Argentina trailing, he drifted to the right wing and created both decisive goals, setting up Enzo Fernandez's powerful strike before delivering the cross that Lautaro Martinez converted for the winner. Even in the final chapter of his international career, if it truly was the final chapter, Messi once again proved why he remains one of football's greatest players. Once again, Messi carried Argentina when it mattered most. He helped lead his country to a 3rd World Cup final in just 12 years, with moments of pure brilliance that reminded everyone why he is considered one of football's all-time greats. After the tournament ended, many of the headlines focused on confrontations, social media posts, and the controversy surrounding the team's response. Messi, however, chose a very different path. He quietly walked away, showing that sometimes actions leave a far bigger legacy than words ever could. When everything is added together, one conclusion stands above the rest. FIFA never banned Argentina as a team, and there was never any realistic expectation that it would. While critics questioned refereeing decisions, disciplinary rulings, and reports surrounding the tournament, FIFA continued to stand by its handling of the competition. Millions of supporters voiced their frustration through petitions and online campaigns, but the organization's position remained unchanged. The biggest unanswered question now is what happens next. Will the individuals facing FIFA investigations receive meaningful punishments, or will the outcome once again leave supporters arguing over fairness and consistency? Only time will provide that answer. But for many fans, the lasting image of this entire controversy wasn't the petition, the headlines, or the public debate. It was Lionel Messi sitting alone on the pitch after the final whistle, accepting defeat with quiet dignity while the football world argued around him. That single image became one of the tournament's most unforgettable moments. Now it's your turn. Do you think FIFA will hand out serious punishments to the players and staff involved? Or do you believe the consequences will be limited once again? Share your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. And if Messi really has played his final match for Argentina, we'll be covering every update and every major reaction. So don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it with other football fans, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next big story. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.